anybody coming over here. I don't. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm not going to be one of these Negroes, especially that I see on my page. How dare you celebrate Christmas and we have all these, people, kids in cages and these people seeking asylum. It's like, Negro, and I'm trying to be cool. We got black people in cages. We got black people going through stuff right here under your nose, and you gonna get your black ass on Facebook and talk about somebody who ain't talking about you. So if we want to celebrate Christmas and all that, that's great. But, I think it was Dwight who made the comment. It's got 40 million people who are going to on food stamps and are going to be affected by this wall. Or not the wall, because they don't have the money. But yet you got white people. I'm sure there's a lot of white people. Probably some Mexicans on there too. And some black people on there too, probably. Who are funding the wall. They're helping to fund the wall. $16 million in 6 days. $16 million in 6 days, but as we drive down the street, we see homeless people everywhere. But that's where they think their money should go. No jobs. They say that the $5 billion that President Trump wants to fund the wall could pay for pre-K. Oh, yeah. He had lifted a whole host of things he could pay for. He could pay for, but a wall that's not going to do anything because they're tunneling under And walls. I saw a GoFundMe page where people are raising money for shovels to dig under the wall. I like a legit page, you guys. People they're raising money to buy shovels so people can dig under the wall. So it's like, what are we doing here? Where all this money come from? All of a sudden, people got all these millions of dollars to build a wall, to take it down. But it's like, what would happen if you just used the money to actually help people? Can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Can't do that. Think about all the food that is just thrown out into the trash. Right. And then they said too, I think that they're gonna pay people $82 an hour to help build the wall. Shit, that's going on. My daughter's like, shit, they hiring. Let me stop. Unbelievable. All right, and so Dwight, he says, you're right. People were planning Christmas on Labor Day, dismissed over summer ending. Yeah, I guess I don't have any Christmas decorations. I used to back in the day. I don't have any anymore. And Al says, no, NFL, does this mean the New Orleans trip is canceled? Donovan can take your place. Al? That's right. That's right. Let me just pat myself off here, because Al. I've got 2 tickets to paradise. We are, and this is the crazy part. Al wants to keep bringing up this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys. He wants to go to New Orleans next year if the Texans play the Saints. My mom lives right there in Slidell. I told him if this boycott is over and for whatever reason Kaepernick gets a job and everything boils over, I will go. Okay. But I'm not going if this is still going on. I would not feel right sitting my black ass in a stand while what this man is protesting for is not going to go away anytime soon. We're going to still have black people being murdered wholesale by police officers. And for me, anybody who can't understand that, I feel sorry for you. And the white says, wow, he says colored people. Yeah, talking about what about these poor people trying to come over here? What about the poor people already here? And they also say $5 billion is not happening. Yeah, well, we're at a standstill right now, and a lot of things are not shut down yet. But when the funding runs out, it will be shut down. So if you know anybody who's on food stamps, the military and the veterans will get their pay. Yeah, eventually they ain't gonna get it right away. No, that's not a law. They have to give us our money. I read that they won't. You're gonna get your money, but you're not gonna get it on payday. No. Retired veterans, VA pay is automatic. I'm talking about people who are. Oh yeah, no, the federal employees. That's different. They ain't getting their money. And notice that the Congress, they get their pay regardless. Are you crazy? Yeah. This ain't for us. This is for you. Right. And it says greetings to brother and sister. What's happening? You also say Dwight, Slidell is a great town. Go there. In any case, move on. He likes Slidell. Well, Slidell's nice, but you got to remember it was named after a Confederate guy that was kind of racist. Yeah, racist. So. But my she's been living there for almost 30 years now. Right. So. It's nice. I like it. And Tay says, imagine if black folks got together to fundraise like that. Raise funds. Man, you talking too much sense now, Tay. Raise funds to better our communities, fund local educational programs for children, or even help the elderly with medical costs. Oh, no, absolutely not. We can't do that. But we could. We could clearly do that. That's too much like socialism. Well, I mean, we partake in it anyway, but I'm saying if we're raising money for walls and
war.
I mean, but imagine the amount of money that black people spend on nonsense. If we were to raise that kind of money to help our own people, we wouldn't have a lot of the issues that we have.
Amen.
You know, like I said, let's build our own schools. And that way we won't have to worry about reading or watching on Facebook where the young black brother got his dreadlocks cut off because a white racist referee wanted him to cut it off or not wrestle, which he ended up winning. But how long did it take this little boy to grow these dreads?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if we had our own school hair, dreads would probably be the hairstyle, afros and dreads, and nobody would care. We wouldn't have to worry about straightening our little girl's hair to appease the oppressor. So,
well, what I'm waiting for is to see the outcome of the outrage of what's going to happen to this referee, if there is any at all.
He got banned from sports.
But is that enough?
Well, no, I agree, because it sounds like he has some issues too. But you know, let's just say that didn't get on go viral.
Okay.
You know, because it sounded like he called another referee the N-word before that. And then Dwight says payday is happening. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Al says, me and the girls were in the mall and saw a lot of black people heavily shopping and said, Dad, don't keep up with the Joneses because their card was declined. Lord have mercy. And Dwight says she is right for blacks to raise money on GoFundMe for pre-K books. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things we need, but we always get wrapped up into everybody else's stuff.
And then you got to remember, there's always a couple of us in our community that does the hustle, and you know,
right. Well, yeah, you have those.
They masquerade as something else, and next thing you know, they're doing a hustle on everybody and stealing the money.
Well, you know, we got to trust somebody eventually at one point in time. But I mean, it's just like sometimes it just gets very exhausting. It gets very exhausting because to me, I get it. I get it that the more money we spend with each other, the more we're going to help each other. I get it, but a lot of people don't, you know. I know you guys get it, but...
there was a report that said within the next 7 to 8 years, 6 families in this country will own 50% of all the wealth in the United States.
Right. I mean, just do the math, you know. And Dwight says, dreadlocks were wrong. Everyone should grow them. I think you meant they weren't wrong. Everyone should grow them. No resistance, color, people. Yeah, I mean, but in their schools, you got to do what they want you to do. That's just the way it is, you know?
My mom had a good question. Like, I went to Catholic school, which gave me a great foundation in school. But sometimes she questions herself, was that a good idea in regards to giving us that education versus dealing with what we had to deal with as grown men? So we got to think about that.
What do you say?
I think it does affect me a little bit because I didn't know a lot about myself.
Right.
I had to learn it on my own.
And that's a good point that you made. Especially when we go to schools. Now listen, I'm not saying you can't send your kid to
you want the best, sending them to these schools.
Yeah, you can send your kid to a public school as long as you're teaching them who they are before they get there. A lot of times we depend on the public school system to teach our kids about themselves, and they're never going to do that. Like I said to you guys once before, my daughter in the 5th grade, I went to her parent-teacher night, and I'm thumbing through her history book, and for whatever reason, it took me to a spot where it's talking about slavery, and that one of the first paragraphs said, slavery wasn't that bad. In fact, the slave masters got out there with the slaves on often and helped them, and they even gave them food to eat. And so I watched who's my ass to the teacher, and I said, please do not teach my daughter this. I said, I've never taught her that slavery is good. And I said, I don't want you to teach her that. And she agreed. But imagine if I was one of those parents just like, didn't have any knowledge of self myself. And even back then, I was really green. But I had enough sense to say, you're not teaching my baby this mess right here.
Or you're one of those parents that we have now that just send your kids to school just so you can get a break.
Right.
You don't care. Yeah.
And then Patricia says, I thank you for discussing these topics. This needs to happen more often. You know what? No, you know what? I take you guys as thank you, but I thank you guys. I honestly thank you guys because I can't discuss this by myself. Donovan can't do it. This only happens. Well, Donovan can because he can talk a lot. But this only happens because of you guys sitting here, having a dialogue with us. That's the only way.
The exchange of ideas.
Yeah, the exchange of ideas. Iron sharpens iron. We are trying to figure out how to make our thing go further. So I say thank you. And the White says, hustling is the economy, selling drugs at barbershops on the ice cream. And on the ice cream trucks. Golly.
Rough. Our kids have it rough.
That's why we see all the adults at the ice cream truck.
Exactly.
Making
his drop off.
But other part of that is, if we know those things are going on, I mean, we need to try. I'm not saying necessarily call the police. I guess that if we police our own neighborhoods, that might work, but somehow we got to figure, out how to combat that.
Right. Well,
because there's no selling drugs without customers.
Yeah. Well, in my neighborhood, we have these graffiti kids running around, and whenever I walk my dog, I always bring the city app and I take a picture of it. And yeah, it's a constant battle, but I'm making sure that my neighborhood, you don't have to accept that there's graffiti in your neighborhood to bring you can live in the ghetto. It doesn't mean the ghetto has to be dirty.
Right. Yeah. And then Gloria, she's reminding everybody to click on the link so that you can comment. If for whatever reason, if we're not friends, you're not able to. And thank you so much for that, Gloria. And Dwight says, this is right what you said about rules. That is right what you said about rules. And then you also say blacks used to teach themselves before Brown versus Board of Education.
Yes.
Self-education and books are the best. Yeah, but we were dying to get involved in the system that didn't want us there.
Force us into the system.
Like when I see the whole Ruby, Dana, what's the name of this little girl? Ruby Bridges. The Ruby story where the little girl's going to school with the armed guards and stuff around her. They're forcing this baby
in there
to go where she's clearly hated by everybody just for what?
Right.
Why would you? And I thought, would I ever do that to my daughter in the name of progression?
I would.
You would do it to my daughter? I could never do that to my child, to send her in a hostile environment where she's hated, just so we can, you're going to be the first to integrate the schools and make sure that we're heard in the schools. Why do we care that much?
Right.
To be involved somewhere they don't want us to. Why do we care?
Well, did you hear Aunt Maxine will be the first black woman to chair
the financial committee?
Yeah, the financial committee.
Did.
Whoa, look how she's going to be doing that.
Well, hopefully she does something.
She's going to be the first one, and that was one of the committees that censored her and her husband for the banking fraud that they were doing.
Well, look at God. And Al says the ref could at least told him to tuck the dreads in a cap like the girls do with long hair so it doesn't get pulled in the course of competition. True. Yeah, he could have, but that's not what he wanted to do. Obviously the guy was good, so maybe he was like, well, surely he's not going to cut his dreads, so I'll, tell him he can't do it, and there he is on the sidelines. It's very hard to watch, cutting his hair. And Dwight says, thank you, you're welcome. And Al says, since Christmas is 2 days away, do you think the broke black people in the stores making the list and are checking the price? No, I don't think that.
Or changing the tags.
You know what? Stop. I just, even just from a financial point of view, I mean, why would you spend something you don't have?
On the premise that you're going to get a big tax return to make up the difference.
And then but certain people are mad because I spent all this money on you for Christmas and you got me a toothbrush.
Right.
You got me a toothbrush and I got you this big humdinger 5,000,
That's how it works. I'm going to grind you before you grind me.
No. And then Dwight says, equality. Donovan went to Catholic school. He would do what?
What?
He said you went to he says equality. Donovan went to Catholic school. He would do what? Can you
expound on that a little bit? I mean, I can say, as a man now, what the Catholic school did for me was gave me a great foundation in how to do my homework and how to be disciplined in taking care of that first, which made me very successful.
But didn't your mama give you that?
Yeah, she did. But my mom was at the school, I'm going to kick your ass if you don't bring certain grades in here, because she was a single mother or a widowed mother. Yeah. So she was working so much. So I had to, buckle down. And, and I can say this for my family. I come from a family of educators where in Louisiana, Point Capee, I've got great uncles and aunts that educated a whole generation of black people back in the day. So education things, whenever I see a family member that is graduating, that's something we're supposed to do. It's no big deal.
Right. Yeah. And then Tay says, hey, I will take a toothbrush, especially the Q-tip toothbruch. It's a good one. See? Gratitude.
Water pick.
Look, that's gratitude. You can imagine getting some of these people a toothbrush because you need it.
Or mint.
You need this toothbrush. I didn't want no toothbrush. But you need it. Like if I'm going to spend my money on something, I'd rather get you something you need. That's what I tell people. If they ask me if I want something, not just for Christmas or whatever, give me something I need. Because I'm not really big on, receiving presents and stuff. I just never have been. But I'm like, give me something I need.
Can I add something to the list?
Sure.
Books. Reading.
Yeah.
Reading. We got to stop giving our kids...
Negro, did you say a book?
A book. Let's give our kids books so that they can exercise their minds.
I love books. I've given books before.
And I don't care if they throw them away. I'm gonna get you a book
for birthdays. I love giving books. Something that they can use, especially these little kids running around who don't have a lot of knowledge of self. I love giving books.
And it's so sad when I look at a teenager and I ask about the classic, they have no idea. Remember A Kill a Mockingbird? That was a must read in 5th grade.
I know. I get surprised when people say they never had to read it. I actually own the movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. And I've seen it 1,000 times.
Right. So I want to add that to the list.
Okay, so books. I love it. And then Al says in San Bernardino and Houston 5th Ward, all throughout the house, not a creature was appearing. Not even a rat. You know what? You so silly. Dwight says the girl was forced to go to public school for integration. Yeah. Donovan is special. He comes from good roots.
Thank you.
He will not force a child to integrate a public school.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's why they made her do it, because she was supposed to be the pioneer. Like, why would you make this baby do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If a grown man won't do it, why would you send a child in?
Yeah, you need the armed guards to do it. Because you really, like, you got these angry white people.
Devils. Just.
And I mean, they're just like dogs trying to get this little girl. And it's like not even the armed guards are going to stop me out if I could just get a hold of my terror head. I mean, it's just evil. You're sending your child there every day.
Well, think about this. And it wasn't too far long ago in our time. Remember busing? When they were busing us?
Yeah.
I remember when I went to the very Catholic school, we were the first kindergarten class. My mom had to walk me into school because these so-called Christian people didn't want me and my brother there.
Because you were Negroes.
We were niggers.
Oh, and yet you continued to go.
Yes, we continued, and we were the most consistent ones. So they had a top. My mom went through a lot of shit.
Wow.
With that school to deal with.
No shade to mom, but I just never took my daughter through that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I do think that that still affects me to this very day.
Yeah, I could tell. That's what's wrong with your ass. And Nichelle says, "I'm sorry, Donovan, but that should have been taught at home." So she's talking about
absolutely.
Getting your ass whooped for not doing your homework. But,
but
moms put a foot to your ass.
Right. But the thing is, given the situation, my mother was a housewife until time, and she lost her husband.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit. I'm not making an excuse. I understand what you're saying, but given certain circumstances,
listen, the proof is in the pudding. I know your mom did an awesome job.
Yeah.
I know I gave you a hard time, but she did.
Yeah. And then, like I said, my mom is still coming right now. I'm in fear right now trying to get the house together. I'm polishing. I'm vacuuming.
Polishing silverware.
Right.
And he got plastic forks and polishing it.
Yeah. Edging the yard. I'm making sure everything's ready to go because mom ain't having it.
And so Patricia said, what is your opinion on Kwanzaa? I will be the first to admit, I don't know all the days and the rituals of Kwanzaa. I mean, I get the concept of us having something to celebrate of our own. I mean, I'm like, sure. But my thing is, why do we need to celebrate anything at all? Right. Like those things, those concepts like unity and stuff within the Kwanzaa dynamics, we should be doing those things every day. Not just, 12 days or I don't know how many days, 12 days a year or throughout December. We should be doing those things anyway. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of how, so for me, it's not even necessarily because it's from a religious standpoint as far as Christmas. For me, it's just, I don't like to be told to be a consumer. I'm one of those people who are very frugal with my money. And I don't like to have the mind of the crowd where I'm doing what everybody else is telling me to do. Like, for instance, I went and paid $6 at the thrift store for this shirt. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people probably like, we could tell.
No. It kind of looks like the Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, we can tell you spent that. That's too much. No.
Right.
And Michi, you say, I'm not messing up my only credit card I have. Just rebuilt my credit score. No cash and carry.
There
if
you go.
I can't buy it, I won't get it. My tree is up, only lights, and that's the way it's going.
Right. No, but that's the way it used to be. We were Black in general. We were cash and carry, and we had savings.
Right. Well,
within our community.
Yeah. So credit cards is not cash. Mm-hmm. It's not liquid.
Yes. And it's supposed to be used for emergencies.
Yeah. Or to build your credit. But yeah. So I love my family. God knows I do. But I am not going to be able to not pay my bills in this January because I love them more than I love me.
Here's what I hope a lot of people do. And this is what I told people straight up. After all the money that I've invested in what I've been doing for the summer and getting this stuff ready, I tell people I don't have any money.
Quit lying.
Well, I mean, I have, but I don't have money like that for presents. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put myself in debt.
But you know what the beauty of that is? Let's say you had $20 million, which you think you do. You ain't got to explain that to nobody.
True.
I ain't got to explain to you why I don't want to buy you a Christmas present. I don't have to say, well, Auntie, we'll get it for you, but my change is kind of strange lately. Yeah. Next year I'll get it for you. Listen.
Yeah, I always hate when people throw up in my face, but you get your animals, all this good stuff. Yeah.
Again, you don't owe nobody extra. I get you what I want to get you when I want to get it.
Right. Gotcha.
And then Nichelle says that we can't depend on teachers to teach our children anything. Yes,
True.
That comes from home.
True.
That way, your kids, like I tell you guys all the time too, when my daughter had to participate in St. Patrick's Day, she asked me, she says, Mommy, which one is my leprechaun? I knew right away it was the black one.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I was not going to be teaching my child to be drawing no pink little leprechauns. You black. Don't draw none that don't look like you.
Now and that's good advice for our generation, but we're talking about a generation that didn't know any better, our parents' generation. And they thought if you do this, it's better.
Yeah, well,
I'm not. Some of them knew what was going on, but a majority of them didn't. They said if you go to this school, it's better. If you integrate over here,
what made it better though? Why? Well, yes, you know. Don't you know the answer?
Oh,
why were we telling our kids, or we've been told you need to go to school because it's better? Why?
Because their ice is colder than ours.
Yes. Because it was the white school.
Right.
It's in the white neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I got to tell my kid, take my kid over there. Oh, I can't have him go to school in the neighborhood because it's too ghetto.
Yeah, Cooley High. We can't have him go to Cooley High.
They're going to the white neighbors to school.
They're going to be better.
Yeah, but they hate you there.
Right.
So what's better about that?
Right, but that's our parents' mentality back then. So you're dealing with a different generation.
I've heard people say that. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a better neighborhood.
Yeah.
Once I sent my kid to the better neighborhood, they was better. Right?
Yeah, wait, you're living over here, but you're using the address of your cousin who lives in the other school district.
And then Michi says, not going into debt for Christmas. No.
I hear you, baby.
That makes two of us.
I hear you.
And Dwight says, number one book, Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Yes.
Civil Rights
Oh, my gosh. That was good.
University of Mississippi. Deanna, what is my favorite book? Their Eyes Were Watching God.
I'm looking for I know why the cage bird sings. I'm still looking for that book.
I think I have that. I'll bring it to you on Tuesday. I have that one. Okay. Yes. An excellent book. Yeah. Excellent book.
I like the miniseries.
Zora Neale Hurston. Okay. Excellent book.
Okay.
And then Al says, no more Christmas mall shopping. When I picked up the girls, I had the unfortunate liberty to watch a senior citizen parallel park. You stupid. It's like, I'm getting in there, okay?
Right.
And Dwight says, Kwanzaa is a hoax. We are Americans. Okay, so it's 8 days. See, that goes to show you. Listen, I don't get on here to try to pretend like I know everything because I don't. I know some things about it, but like I said, my ideology is just do those things all year long. The
whole point of all these shows is to exchange ideas, open up people's.
Right. And then Patricia said, yes, we should every day. Yeah, I mean, because what happens is we're extra. It's fake. It's fake, If you an asshole all year long, be that. Don't wait till Christmas.
Well, I don't fake the funk.
Well, we know, okay? And Dwight says, shirt is great, good use of money. Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just me. I don't. Another thing too, I don't love no designer that much to give them a whole lot of money because I always think, well, what are they doing for me?
Right.
And what are they doing for our community? Like, I'm going to give Gucci. This is not a Gucci shirt, but I'm just saying, if I was to wear a Gucci shirt, $1,000, I'm giving that to Mr. Gucci.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that money is Mr. Gucci giving to the black community?
Zero.
And truth be told, a lot of those designers are like, I don't want y'all wearing my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make it for y'all, no way.
Right.
A brother of mine worked for American Express, and you guys are familiar with American Express. They have the black card.
Yes.
Where a lot of the rappers and stuff were trying to get it. And so American Express was saying, we don't want them to have it. We don't want the rappers in the hip hop industry to have it, because that cheapens the meaning and the value of the card. Because we know y'all ain't gonna do nothing but some
strippers and
some unnecessary stuff with the card. And so we want to keep it exclusive. Right.
Real quick disclaimer: if you're watching the back of the green screen, Demetra's man Kylan is back there.
The cat, Tyler the cat.
Acting up. So if you're kind of wondering what's going on back there, that's her man, Tyler. And
then Dwight says cash pays for credit. Yeah, I mean, so why not just use the cash and use it wisely, you know?
Exactly.
And then Al says, speaking of Christmas, tell your audience about the chandelier. He was telling me about Samore, the comedian.
Oh, she's beautiful. Oh my God, that girl's
Donovan
beautiful.
has a thing for her. Al does too, truth be known.
God, that one's beautiful.
But she was saying that you should be the chandelier in the room. You should be the one to stand out instead of being like everybody else. She says a chandelier doesn't go with anything. A chandelier stands on its own. And so we should be we should be wanting to do that more instead of being like everyone else or having the mind of the crowd. And Dwight says, Donovan went to a Catholic school. He is educated and speaks great. Yes, I taught him all he knows.
Yes, you do. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? No.
No, yes. This is something I don't say, especially on this show, a lot about Donovan. And this is, I will take this camera right now and show y'all, okay? Donovan has 11 degrees. Not from Acme Academy either.
True.
Not from that, the Corinthian colleges.
Yeah, the windmill colleges.
Man.
Different subjects.
I almost called him something else. That's a different show. He has 11 degrees in different subjects. Who does that?
All paid for by your tax dollars.
You know, shut your mouth.
Thank you very much.
Okay. But who does that? Who has 11 degrees? And so, yes, Donovan, some people say, he's a know-it-all. Donovan knows quite a bit. So, yeah, he's I'm
book smart. Put it like
he's actually worked very hard to be where he is. And then Dwight, you say Al is great as well. Yeah, he's all right. No, I'm just playing. He's awesome.
Yeah, he just got to work on his jump shot. All that height. Work on that jump shot, brother.
And Al's Jack joke of the day. During Christmas, carolers came to my stepdad's side. Okay, hold on.
Are we done reading that, or what's going on with that?
I think that's pretty decent. So Al says, during Christmas, carolers came to my stepdad's side piece house and were singing Glory to the Newborn King. After they finished singing, I said, that was beautiful. It sounded like a host of seraphim and a host of seraphim, he said. Al, you don't know Xmas music very well. They were singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Right. Wait. Before we go off air today,
what time do we have?
No. We got plenty of time.
Jonelle, I see you on there. Are you free? Are you free, Jonelle? Are you free? Just give me a thumbs up if you're free.
Yeah, I'm back in Facebook jail, as a matter of fact.
Are you in Facebook jail?
I'm back in Facebook jail. But I wanted just to get this out before we go. Your daughter has just completed her studies.
Don't be putting my business out there.
Yes. No, she just completed her studies, and as a mom, how do you feel about that?
Well, Deanna, my daughter, who does not want to be on camera, is now she's
educated.
She's already educated because I teach her stuff and I've taught her stuff. But she's got a degree now. Mm-hmm.
She's right on your she's right on your heels.
Yeah,
next to the masters.
Right on my heels. She's got a degree now, so she got a little book smarts too. And so, big congratulations to her for doing what a lot of people won't do. But Dwight wants to know, why so many degrees? Well, all you need is one.
Well, if the government is going to put a program out there and say, you don't have to pay for this and you can get as many as you can get, why not?
So Donovan also spent 24 years in the Air Force as a pilot, a very accomplished pilot. Man, this dude sent me a picture in his blue suit.
Yeah, I went to an Air Force Association.
The whole side of his chest had bars up and down. It was just bars everywhere. Yeah,
and it wasn't all of them. I was missing 3.
Yeah, because he actually showed them to me before he put them on his suit. And I'm like, you're going to need another suit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's very accomplished. So he took advantage of the military and what they had to offer as far as education, a whole host of other stuff that I sometimes want to stab him over because he rubs it in my face.
Right, and the sad thing about the military was when I went back to them to try to, to stick it to him some more, they were like, "That's it, you're done."
They said you got 11 degrees, dude.
Yeah, you're done.
Get out of here.
They pretty much shut me down.
And Patricia says nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. Absolutely, yes. And you know, I love that because you do have some people, they know everything. You can't tell me nothing. I know what I'm talking about. You do. Yes, you do.
Absolutely.
And then Dwight said that was great. And Al says, Donovan, tell D, what does seraphim mean? And she would understand my joke. Seraphim, ain't that an angel? Or is that a cherubim?
Well, hey, I have to look that up.
You got to look that up too, Al. You and these
because I'm not exactly sure which connotation of that.
Got it. He said he wants to be clear.
Yes.
And Patricia says, "Congratulations, Deanna."
Yay!
She says, "Thank you." And then Dwight says he has money and is successful. He does all right.
I do all right. He
does all right.
I can make some, and the thing, I'm not trying to brag, but I can make some more money. But there comes a time when you just say, isn't the American dream to make as much money as you need and then go enjoy the world?
Enjoy your life. You know, because Donovan's not that old. He's retired. Donovan is, Deanna laughed. I said that.
Get out of my house, girl.
Yeah, Donovan is retired. He is fully retired. And he does well. I mean, and not only, I don't like to say he does well as far as money, because I've never seen his bank account, but I can just assume. But he's very frugal in how he lives life, which also affords him to travel the world twice a year if he wants to, in various other places throughout the United States, because he doesn't, as in my
trick
words,
off my money,
trick off his money.
I don't trick off.
So I mean, he's done well with what he's been taught. So I think a lot of us should strive to be like that. Right. Like that, but not the other stuff that he, because Donovan.
Hey, the Book of Ike has taken me this far.
This fool in the Book of Ike. And then Tay says, Donovan is rich. See, Tay knows.
Right. The only reason Tay knows it because she was in the military too, and she knows my pay grade.
They got these good ass military benefits rubbing in our faces. And the wife says pension, annuity, and investments. Yes. We talk about that all the time.
Yes, and I have that.
Yes, we talk about investing your money all the time. That's another thing we talked about once before. Black people, if you want to get your children something for Christmas, get them a life insurance policy or some stocks, some bonds, some sort of investments, because we know that, God forbid, we're all going to die one day.
Absolutely.
Right? We're all going to die one day. Wouldn't it be nice to leave your children a legacy by way of a life insurance policy if you died?
It'd be nice, but I'm gonna use what I can use, and whatever's left they can have.
Well, yeah, Donovan's ideologies, I'm gonna use it all before I leave. Okay,
I'm trying to use it all.
But in all seriousness, if you're gonna spend some money on your children, get them something that they can use. You get them a life insurance policy now when they're older. It might be enough cash value in there for them to pay for college, buy a car. If they want to get married, buy a house. That's what I'm saying,
but we don't know this information because our kids are like, I want a PlayStation 4. No, I got you a savings bond.
Right. Right. I got you a savings bond that's you hate me now because you can't touch it. It's not tangible. Right. But when you do go off to college and that, scholarship gives you a shortfall, you know what, by the way, honey? Go on and take this to the bank.
Exactly.
See what I think is about $50,000-$60,000, and that ought to help.
Here's another example. You remember when we reconfigured my room? Remember I used to have those comic books on my wall?
What happened to them?
Oh, I still got them.
Oh, okay. But are they still in the same spot?
No. I moved them a little bit.
Go to the bathroom.
But it's so funny how when we were younger, like if you collected baseball cards, basketball cards, think about what a Michael Jordan rookie basketball cards worth. I have a comic book, so now movies are being made into comic books, right? The only one of those comics that you saw that was on the wall hanging, the cheapest one was worth $5,000.
And I will tell you guys this about so to Donovan's point, he does have a few comic books, and he said the one that's worth the least is about $5,000, and I've seen the one that's worth significantly more. I tried to steal it, but it didn't really go off well for me. And they're in immaculate condition. Yeah. But his point is, those are the things that he knew would be of value. You had those things
since I was a kid.
Since he was a small child, he's had these comic books that are worth a lot of money.
I read them one time. My aunt started me on because I had a stuttering problem, and I would read them, and she told me always, once you get done reading them, put them in a plastic thing and put them away.
Right.
And I always kept it.
And now it's worth something. So if I stick him up, I'll know where to go.
But to the audience, I'm saying the things that you think that are not valuable, it might be an antique. It might be,
But somewhere down the line, you were taught value.
Yes.
and to invest in things that are valuable. And then Patricia says, what about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Well, I ask you because what about it? We had, remember, was it like 6 months ago? And you couldn't log on to Facebook or YouTube or Twitter without people talking about, oh, you got to get in this. Oh, you better get on now, because if you don't get on now, you're going to be on the late freight to get on the Bitcoin. And I'm like, okay, because I have a lot of people come at me with, I'm like, I want to see exactly what this is. And so I know a lot of people who are in the financial industry, and it was like,
there's a lot of federal investigations
there's a lot going of people who got indictments for selling cryptocurrency, not knowing what they were selling. So I think for a lot of us who didn't get involved, we should be happy we didn't.
Especially when we're at a lower level.
Right.
You know, thank God. Because
That's that to me, that's like rich folk stuff. And even Warren Buffett was like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
Warren Buffett's like, I'm not getting involved in that. He says, I don't even really understand what it's completely about, but I'm not going to, he likes taking risks, but he wasn't going to take that sort of risk.
And always remember, when you're investing in something, it has to be backed by something. Be it silver,
what is it backed by?
Be it gold, be it something.
But nobody really knew what Bitcoin was backed by. And then so Dwight says, what about real estate, apartments, and high-end cars? When we say high-end cars, are you speaking of like the
Teslas, Lamborghinis, Ferraris?
Classic cars.
Yes, that's a good investment. Yes, that's a very good investment.
But high-end cars, we don't even think you drive off the lot. Nowadays, it's going to depreciate the minute you drive it off the lot. So if you're going to invest in a car.
If you're on the West Coast here, they have a car circuit, a classic car circuit.
Yeah.
That is big money out here.
Route 66.
Route 66, the Ventura, the Pomona car shows and stuff. That is real big money.
Real estate, obviously, is awesome because real estate, It gives you a return on your investment. I mean, God forbid you buy low, you can sell it high. I mean, apartments, obviously, that's a lot of great income coming in. So, real estate is how a lot of people get rich. Exactly. That's how the wealthy do it. They buy real estate and life insurance.
And remember, what's the best time to buy real estate?
When the
in a recession is down.
Absolutely.
You need to buy when it's down.
Right. And then Al says, seraphim are angels that, I knew it was an angel.
Yes, it was an angel.
Angels that sing. I told my stepdad the carolers sounded like a host of seraphim, so he said that was hark the herald angels sing. I still don't get it. You don't get it either. Danny, you get it? No.
Hark the Huda.
Okay, and the wife says Richie Rich, and Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yes, same person. If you look at the way they're drawn, it's the same person.
Michi says, dang, my phone went dead, but Donovan has always been smart since he was in high school. Yeah. Well,
the Jerry curl wasn't a great decision of mine, but
you're right. The Jerry curl was nice and moist and juicy.
Moist and juicy. Yes, it was good. It was good.
Everybody.
Sheila.
Oh God.
Don't
get him started. And Al says, I have followed the Black church for most of my life. Well, Al, and how come no one can never get you to go to church? I told my family, I said, follow, not go. So he's basically saying people are, always on him about going to church, but it's not something he really wants.
Sometimes I go just to visit and see what's going on.
Hey, Ben, what's happening? Fabian, he says, my ex-girlfriend flies on a broom. I'm sorry.
I've had a couple of those.
Stop. And Dwight says Teslas, BMWs, Cadillacs, and Porsches. Well,
yes.
I mean, if you got the money. Then you go ahead and spend it. And I got the money. My brother made a good analogy. He says no woman on this planet should be walking around in no red bottom shoes that cost $600 unless you making $600,000. Or you got got $600,000 in the bank.
Correct.
But it's always us, not me. I saw a pair of red bottoms at the Goodwill yesterday, but they weren't really red bottoms. Somebody had painted the bottoms red. Right. But it's always us that are working. We're making 40, 50, 60, 70 a year. And we got all the red bottoms.
Yeah.
And it's like, girl, you really? I mean, it's just silly. I'm not going to spend $600 on those shoes. And speaking to the cars, I mean, if you got that kind of money, but
it's expensive.
Warren Buffett, I know I keep evoking Warren Buffett, but I like Warren Buffett. This dude drives a 2011 Cadillac, and this dude is one of the richest dudes in the world. He says, why do I need to keep getting a new car every year? He lives in the same house that he's lived in for, I think, 40 years.
House that I'm in right now, 1980.
Yeah. Why do that? I mean, he can have all the Teslas if he wanted, but he doesn't.
Yeah. And but still, that is still, if you got the money to get involved in that, that's a very good.
And Fabian says, foreign currency. I have 200,000 Iraqi deniers.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth $176.
Yeah. That's. Wait, do you have the pre-Saddam or the post-Saddam deniers? Because the pre-Saddam deniers aren't worth nothing. I mean, that's almost.
And Michi says, Demetria has always been this way in high school, outspoken and wanted to make a difference. She started the first BSU in a high school. I'm proud of them both. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, she did.
And you know what? Michi, we couldn't have did it without you because Michi was right there.
She was right there.
To her point, we didn't have a black student union, and all of they didn't want to give us one, and so we was like, we getting one.
Right. Well, it was mostly Hispanic.
I mean, everybody else had a club but us, but they made us name it the Preservation for the Society of Black Culture.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
The Society for the Preservation of Black Culture.
And wait, let's do a follow-up. Is that club still in existence?
I keep saying I want to find out if the BSU is still there.
Okay.
I'm going to find out.
We're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to go there and find out.
But yes, that we had the first one at that school, and the school was there since 1967, 65.
And now it's a, never mind.
Shut
alternative
up.
school.
It's a nursery.
Yeah.
But that was in 1989 when we created it. So
I think after you graduated, they say shut it down.
Right. And then Al says, I just saw Kaleidoscope having sex is all came in shapes and it came in all shapes and sizes.
Yes.
This dude here.
Kaleidoscope.
And then Dwight says $200,000. I mean $200 down. $2,000 purchase and you make $100,000. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people. Yeah, I mean that leaves you $98,000. So if you have one $2,000 purse, how many other $2,000 purses do you have? I mean, I don't know. I just never saw the need to carry a purse that is worth more than money I have in it.
Yeah. The funny thing is whenever I have my,
he said post-Saddam.
Post-Saddam. Okay. Yeah. Then it's worth what it is. Whenever I have my friends come into town, especially my lady friends come into town, the first thing I do is I take them to the LA Garment District.
You surely do.
And that way they spend all their money on, knockoff stuff, but they're happy.
He takes them to the garment district.
Right to the garment district. So anything after that is good. They're broke, they're good, they could go back home and with all this stuff, that looks just like the real stuff. That's why I tell people, California people, we are fake. Everything that we do is pretty much fake. Yeah, so.
And Al says, me and my baby mama got into a big argument. I asked her, do you have a broom? She said, yes. I said, well, hop on yours and fly your ass out of my face.
Yes. Wow.
We know he really didn't say that.
Yes.
And Michi says, right, laugh out loud. Fabian says, Warren Buffett might drive a $2,000 Cadillac, but he's only alive because he buys organs off the black market. Well, damn.
Do tell.
Something
yes,
new.
Do tell.
I mean, listen. Anything's possible, right? I don't know. I mean, how old is Warren Buffett? 80?
He's like 84 something.
Yeah, I mean, so, you know what? You might be on to something, too, because of the documentary I saw. He says he eats at McDonald's like 2 or 3 times a day, making the point that I don't eat at these big, highfalutin steak restaurants every day.
Neither does Donald Trump. He eats McDonald's a lot,
I watched a video where people ate like Donald Trump for a day and they were miserable.
Stop.
Yeah.
And then Dwight says, you are right. Clothes full of... closet full of clothing and purses. Yeah. That's not economically smart at all to be having more on your body than you have in your bank account. And there's a lot of people who are what we said back in the day, perpetrating the fraud. How much time we got?
A minute and 30 seconds.
Okay. You got a lot of people perpetrating the fraud out there. They look good, but if you ask them, God forbid a tire blows or something.
Substance.
They got Maypops on the car, but they look like $1 million. Or they can't pay the light bill, the water bill, but it's like, girl, you sure look fine. But, they got a whole bunch of sugar daddies they hustling because they need to pay for this lifestyle.
Did you see that one black girl, lady? She's a sugar baby, and she doesn't have a problem with her daughter
is she
following.
A lady or is she a thing?
Whatever her thing is. But she has no problem with her daughters following in her footsteps.
Al says, ask D&D, what did the blanket say when it fell off the bed? Oh, sheet. For those of you guys on the podcast, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. We will be here. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please send them to us.
Yes, and tune in Tuesday. We'll be here Tuesday, Christmas Day.
Yeah, we're going to be here Christmas on our other podcast.
So tune in.
Heathen. and the wife says Donald Trump eats only at his restaurant and fast foods.
Yeah.
Yes. I've heard about his diet. It sounds disgusting.
Yeah, well, you look at his shape, it's disgusting. Yeah.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
And Michi says, you can only wear one purse at a time, but if it ain't on sale, I won't have it. And I mean, it has to be for the low. I'm with you on that one. I mean, I don't even know. My purse came from the Goodwill. No more than I'm just not that girl that's going to spend a bunch of money so people can say nice purse. You better say more than nice purse. I spent the whole month's rent on it.
Well, the thing is, whenever I go to the movies, I want the girls to wear to bring that big purse. You guys used to, wear.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to bring the big purse so you can put all the
sodas and everything in there.
Because we ain't spending $20 on the popcorn kernel. Okay?
Right.
And Tay says, Google some more and sugar daddy